Right then, guys, today we are going to talk about branded Etsy dropshipping. Okay, you've probably heard a lot of people talk about branded dropshipping, but most of the time it's going to be in relation to Shopify branded dropshipping. So what is branded Etsy dropshipping? In essence, it is complete consistency throughout your store. It's not a slapdash spaghetti at the wall, I hope this works operation. Everything has been calculated and put together methodically. And that is from the color palette you use in your branding, to your imagery, to how you handle customer service, customer experience, pre and post purchase. It all sounds extremely complicated, I know. So I'm going to break it down from the beginner steps to having your own packaging, having your own systems, and full infinite scalability and autonomy. Now, the keyword throughout this video is going to be consistency. You need to have consistency in everything you're doing. Consistent with the products you're listing, consistent with the scenarios that you are providing your customers, and consistent with your color palettes, your imagery, right? Your FAQs, your about, your policies. So there's no misalignments. So customer A, who's having a problem with Y, is also getting the same solution customer B is having with Y. You're not then having to remember, right, Claire had this problem and I solved it that way, and then Stephanie had it this way and I had to do it that way. And you're trying to just juggle a ton of hats and read a load of notes. No one wants to do that. Building a branded dropshipping store is often going to be quite a bit slower than a typical, chasing the hype dropship store.
Yep, you're
banned. So this is going to be a pretty insane nugget for you guys, right? If you're fighting for those early acquisitions, right, maybe your store is primarily ad-based. You can only get sales through ads, or you're all organic and it's just a bit slow because you're new. Some ways that you can increase your CLV and your AOV is this. So this is the customer service template I like to set up on my stores. So I like to open the channel of communication with every single customer that comes in. And I do that by messaging them something like this, hey Jamie, I saw you ordered X, thank you so much, going to get that sent out to you as soon as possible. Just want to confirm the address you provided is, X, right? We've had an issue with some customers where it was Etsy gave us the wrong address, blah, 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 something like that. Now, 90% of the time, they're going to reply to that because it concerns them, right? Now that communication channel is open. Then what I like to do is I follow up with this little gem. Hey, just following up, the item you bought is often bought as a gift. I saw you only bought one. So if you did want to buy a second one and gift it to someone, you can use coupon code X for 30% off. Or I saw you bought this necklace, right? This bracelet. A lot of people do pair it with this accessory too. Link it and say, and you can use this code for 30% off. Boom. Now you've got a much higher chance of them coming back, buying another item from you before they've even received the first one. Now they have 2 orders with you, hopefully, and that means they can leave 2 separate reviews. Okay? So once it's been delivered, you then follow up again. Hey, thank you so much. I saw it got delivered today. Really hope you like it. Any questions, just get back to me. I really hope you love it. Please leave a review. It really helps my small little store. I'm just getting started on Etsy. I'm loving it, but I just need reviews. Something like that, right? And that's going to really help you get pushed. A super branded approach to farming reviews is basically create like a Canva template of a pamphlet thing you want printed out on like a nice little card. And on it is going to be, thank you for your purchase. Your support means the world to me. And then have an editable QR code. Now, editable is super important. And it's a QR code they can scan, right? If you leave a review, you get the chance of getting XYZ. Super easy. Have your private supplier, put that in every order. If you need a private supplier, you can join discord.gg/Etsy. There's also a year's worth of Etsy resources in there. It's been going since 2022. it's all free in there. So some nuggets, but let's now talk more about the setup and the running of a branded dropshipping store. One of the key phrases to remember with branded dropshipping is the right systems solve any issue. Most of the issues you will encounter on Etsy are all to do with the systems you have. If you set up the right foundations, build out your own SOPs and systems, and document everything meticulously on how you operate, keep learning, keep tweaking and perfecting, you're building a bulletproof store. You're building a bulletproof branded store. Now, the systems I mean are, like I mentioned earlier, your customer service systems, your logistics systems. I talked down here about autonomy, and something I like to have set up is I like my branded dropshipping stores to be between 10 and 20 listings. They are super dialed in, pumped up listings. I don't just go on my store. I don't just list 15 products and go, right, let's wait and see what they do. I do something called trimming the fat, and I list every single day. The routine I essentially like to follow with Etsy is the first thing I do is I set up my work environment, and then I do some product research. Then I'm getting my daily product listings done early in the morning out of the way. Now, I just find that's the best time for me. I know I've done my listings for the day, and now I can get on to other activities. The other reason I do listings every single day is because Etsy absolutely love daily activity. They will push you a lot more for this, and then any engagement that comes in, I just farm. Any messages that comes in, I answer as quick as possible. I want customers to be engaged with me. Then if they're not buying, I try and entice them into a favorite. Okay, just favorite my listing, please. Just add it to cart, please. Just try and get something from every single possible avenue. Because the way that the algorithm is in 2025 is these activity metrics are make or break. When I mentioned about the QR code earlier, you're basically setting up a flywheel. So a customer comes in, they place an order, they get it sent, and they get the QR code. They leave a review, and now another customer places an order and they leave a review. And because you're getting more reviews in, you're having more happy customers, you're providing a much better experience. That wheel is just going to keep on turning. It's going to keep on turning, and it's going to get quicker, and more and more and more orders are going to be pouring in. Now, a little trick I like to do is I used to play around with Pomodoro technique. But what I do now is I just set a stopwatch on my phone when I'm in deep work. When I'm working, I set a stopwatch on my phone. When I'm having a break, it gets paused. If I find myself getting distracted, I'll pause it, I'll take 5 minutes, and then I'll go back to work. And I'm using the same stopwatch. So at the end of the day, I can see how much deep work I actually did. Because a lot of people will just LARP. I find that if I end the day knowing I have done a good amount of hours of deep, solid work, I've ticked off my to-do list, I'll sleep better. And we all know sleep is the ultimate hack. And if I get good sleep, I wake up early, and guess what? I can put more energy into my stores tomorrow, right? And everything else I have going on. So that is one of the techniques I have to really focusing and dialing in, right? I've been at this for many, many, many years. Right? You have to really be dialed in, understand your systems, understand yourself, and focus on yourself to running the best possible, Etsy and personal systems. One of the first automation methods I like to set up on my stores, and in particular my branded dropshipping stores, is between my customer service reps who handle customer service and logistics and my private suppliers. Now, I don't like using ERPs on my branded dropshipping stores. I, like to do it more through my customer service agents who have a bit more of, delicacy with it, right? Because we all know what tracking numbers are like on Etsy. So what I like to do is my customer service agent basically exports all of the orders, and they're on a Google Sheet. Now, my private supplier also has access to that Google Sheet. They can see, okay, these are the new orders. They are marked in red or whatever color you want. they need to be fulfilled, and then they'll take them, they'll get them fulfilled, and they'll put the tracking numbers back into that sheet next to the corresponding orders. Then the customer service agent sees that, they see the tracking numbers are in, they'll go in and they'll mark them as, I don't know, yellow, green. Then they have the tracking numbers, and then they get put into Etsy, and they'll get put into the customer's order, and now everything is done. Okay, it's automated for me. It's not for the others, but that is one of the most time-saving and efficient methods you can do, because then all of the orders are in a sheet which your customer service agent has access to, and your supplier. So then everything is stayed on top of. Then, because of tracking numbers being so important on Etsy, there they are. With tracking numbers, you have two primary methods. You have one, putting in Yun Express and saying it's going to come to from China to your customer, or wait a few days and get the last mile tracking and put in that tracking number to your customer's order, whether that's USPS, Royal Mail. Now, I've talked a lot about the back-end systems that need to be set up for your branded store. So now let's talk about the surface level stuff. The actual acquisition of customers, actually getting people in through the pipeline, right? Pretty important. So as I mentioned, I like to get listings up and I like to trim the fat. Now, I like to each of my stores will be down into one niche. And I do that through, at the start, putting products up. Casting a wide net is always the analogy I gave, right? And then wherever caught me the most fish is where I'm then focused on. So, back in the day, one of the examples of this was, say you had a jewelry store and, you were putting up some generic necklaces, you were putting up some generic bracelets, and all of a sudden you put up some anxiety jewelry, the spinner rings, and you realized, okay, these are primarily bringing me all my views and visits. Let's now deactivate the listings that only had, 2, 3, 5, 10 visits in the last 30 days, no sales. Let's deactivate them, and now let's add in more listings each day around this anxiety stuff. And once we have the anxiety stuff on there, let's work out how we can expand there. But as I mentioned on my stores, I do like to only have between 10 and 20 listings. A reason for this is because I believe that store can then provide the best possible experience with just that stock. Okay. Now imagine if you had 50 listings. Only 10, 20 of them are going to be consistently selling. Your supplier knows the exact, methods of getting them out in China, right? He knows the factory, he's building relationships, he knows the systems, he knows the packaging, how to reorder it, everything like that. And then you have a stray order come in. And maybe you've not all had that order before. So now your supplier has to then go out, find a factory, get it done, get it sent to them, check it, get it sorted. And maybe it gets to the customer and it's not even that good of a quality. So you're now risking your store that's having these really good optimized listings, sell. You've set them up well. Maybe you've gone into the likes of custom packaging. I've discussed that in my previous video. But maybe you've done that. You're now risking the store and that growth that you've been really working on building by having one stray listing that's going to get one bad review, maybe one case, right? There's no point risking the pot of gold for an ounce of silver. Now, some advice I would give to beginners of Etsy dropshipping is limit your SKUs and don't go the personalized route if you're new. You're going to run into a lot of logistical issues and nightmares. Personalized products when you're shipping from China always take a lot longer. There's always a lot more room for risk. And that risk is just not what you can afford to have to handle whilst you're learning the game, whilst you're learning how to build the systems, while you're learning product research and correctly listing and your SEO and all your imagery. Okay? But talking about imagery, let's now go on to building consistent imagery throughout your store. What I like to do is have my images for every product on my store so consistent through the warmth, the temperature of the photos and the backdrop. The way it's laid out, I like to have it super consistent throughout every single image on my store. So when someone is scrolling for a certain product, they'll see one of my listings, the thumbnail will stand out, and then they'll see another one all of a sudden, and then another one. And now, without them noticing, that's all they've seen. They've remembered, okay, that all these images had the same background. And It will entice them to get a click. Now they're in. Okay? Super easy to do with ChatGPT nowadays, right? Then what I like to do is set up a bundle offer. You know, if you buy this set, buy these multiple listings, they get an extra discount too. Discounts really are king when it comes to Etsy. Okay? It really helps make that last bit of friction a customer might have a lot more tolerable. Now, as a beginner branded dropshipping store, you realize that 90% of the branded look is just that. It is just the vanity of the store. Okay? It is just the consistent imagery, color palette, style of how everything works. When you have 15 listings that all look the same, right? It's completely different products, but the images look the same, the thumbnails look the same, it's the same flow, everything like that. And you have then this consistent branding, logo, banner, you know, a nice little bio photo, all this information below. It just adds a bit more authority, it makes you stand out, and it makes you more trustable. Now, the last bit of listing advice I would give you is, we all know how to structure our listings. I've gone over it hundreds of times. So you have the main product section of your listing, but then you have different store FAQs, right? Talk about, you know, your shipping time, how you handle this, how you handle that, your reviews, times you're responding to customers, maybe even put a support email in there, whatever, right? More along answering the questions they might have about your brand and giving them more information about your brand just at the bottom. Not many people get deep and care too much about what's down there, but the ones who do are probably doing it because they are interested in your product, and now you're establishing even more authority. Now, once you have a few thousand sales on your branded dropshipping store, maybe less, it depends on your cash flow, that's when you look into different branded packaging options that you can get. It's super easy to do. Private suppliers in the Etsy Mafia Discord will help you through it. If you just want to get it going from a couple hundred orders, you can do that. You can just build the ultimate brand from day one. And you build one brand, you build two brands, you build three brands on Etsy. And guess what? You're learning cross-platform structures and methods. You can then use the cash flow you have to go on and build Shopify brands too, which I love doing. It is all within the scope of what you are learning. You can easily transition your VAs over from Etsy to Shopify to handle customer support. Your suppliers can then be ported over into Shopify too. They can handle everything, and you are going to learn the skills. You're also going to have the cash flow to invest. Invest in paid ads, invest in organic, invest in content, make your brand look as great as possible. Now, Ecom is just the best thing in the world. And if you're a beginner, I am so envious of you. When I was at university, I could never imagine that it was me still being able to log into that dashboard and seeing those numbers. It was insane. It was like it's such a mental block that got just shattered out of me. And then I understood it is possible. It's possible for you too. I promise you. If it's possible for me, it's possible for you. All it takes is a bit of hard work and a tiny bit of luck.